Good evening. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. More than 500 avalanches have been reported in Colorado this month alone. There's a 22-year-old snowmobiler from Wisconsin who got caught up in one of them near Steamboat Springs.
9 News reporter Janelle Finch talked to him tonight. And Janelle, he says he was buried for an hour and a half before rescuers could dig him out.
Aiden Croft says this mountain slope isn't new to him. He's snowmobiled at Hans Peak several times over the last few years, but his most recent trip was unlike any other. There's nothing like chasing the fresh powder until the fresh powder is chasing you, like it was for Aiden Croft.
It was extremely scary for me.
Croft posted this video of him snowmobiling near Steamboat Springs to his YouTube channel, Life of Aiden. Here is where he separated from his group and got caught in an avalanche.
And I looked to my right because I felt a little shift in the snow, and I see all of this snow rushing towards me.
Croft says a crushing wave of snow pushed him around for about 10 seconds before burying him. He struggled to breathe for more than a minute.
I've got my arm right here on my chest, so I do with all my might. I just kind of push out through the snow.
He could breathe and call for help on his radio, but he was still stuck. Colorado Avalanche Information Center Director Ethan Green says fresh snow can turn dense quick.
If you're buried in an avalanche like that, it's really hard for you to move. You become, kind of frozen in the debris pile. And so that's why you need somebody else to come and dig you out.
He says Croft was likely saved by his helmet,
which probably protected his airway so that snow didn't get packed into his mouth and nose.
But Croft says he wasn't wearing his most important gear, his avalanche gear.
I hope to educate other people, whether through my videos or just experience, and just spread the word that the avalanche gear is more than just, a $1,200 backpack you wear. It's something that can be life-saving.
He says he knows his situation could have been worse, but he's thankful for the chance to make his future rides better and safer.
I'm thinking for a split second, I am never riding again. Like, I will not touch a snowmobile in my life. It went away fast because snowmobiling is like the best thing I've ever discovered in life. And it's, it's my all-time favorite thing to do. So no, I still plan on riding. I still plan on riding mountains, and I always want to keep pushing myself to go farther.
The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says after 30 minutes buried under snow, chances of survival decreased by 50%. Croft says he's thankful to have walked away with just a sore neck. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
There was a little chill in the air in the Denver metro area today, but a preview of spring comes back tomorrow. We'll go back again. Anytime.
Of coming attractions, Kathy Saban.
That's right. And we're just days from the weekend, so a lot of people making plans already due to the weather forecast. You'll recall this time last night we were tracking a front that produced all of that wind after a day with a high near 70. Well, today it was much cooler, but we had less wind, and temperatures have already come down into the 20s after highs in the 40s and lower 50s. Current wind gusts really not a big part of our story, and everybody's thrilled about that. There's a little bit of moisture, though, in the central mountains and southern foothills, tracking a bit of snow that's moving from north to south down across Raton Pass and the Colorado-New Mexico line. Not enough that we have advisories for snow or travel. Just be aware it's there if your travels take you that way. In Denver, temperatures in the 20s and 30s tonight, rebounding quickly once the sun comes up. Weather headlines, yes, it's a little bit cooler today and tonight. Yeah, there's a little bit of mountain snow, but the overall trend will be for sunshine and above average temperatures starting tomorrow and carrying right into the weekend, ahead of a major pattern shift next week that could mean a return of cold and snow. The timing and impact of all of that with your extended forecast coming up.
9 News Investigates learned today that prosecutors have formally charged Broncos linebackers coach Michael Wilhoit with second-degree assault on a police officer. The 37-year-old also faces charges of obstruction of a police officer and criminal mischief. He's accused of punching a cop in the face at the airport. Court records say it happened when Wilhoit pulled into the arrivals area and left his vehicle unattended on Sunday. They don't like when you do that. When he returned to the vehicle, confrontation happened with the officer. Wilhoit got tased, but still managed to just drive away. Officers arrested him a short time later.
Body camera video obtained by 9 News Investigates shows Denver SWAT officers entering the wrong apartment. It's at the center of a new lawsuit filed against Denver police. We want to warn you, it's hard to watch.
Okay, it's the police. We're with your grandma. You guys are fine, okay? We just want to make sure you're okay. You guys can play right here, all right? I'm going to get your grandma. No, we're not going to hurt you. Get grandma. No, grandma's coming back.
Officers were trying to find and arrest a man in June of 2023. They ended up going to the wrong apartment door. Inside were 3 women and those 2 little girls who had nothing to do with that investigation. Attorneys say police detained the family in a car for a significant time as they looked for the man. The lawsuit accuses officers of also trying to cover up their mistake in their reports.
And the thing about the post-incident reporting that really bothers me is that the police are writing about this incident as if it didn't happen, which indicates to me that they don't think these folks, our clients, matter or that their rights matter.
We reached out to Denver police for comment. They declined, citing pending litigation.
2 strip clubs in downtown Denver owe nearly $14 million in back wages, according to the Denver auditor. The city's labor department investigated Diamond Cabaret off Colfax and Rick's Cabaret at Stout and 15th. The audit says the 2 clubs violated, quote, nearly every applicable provision of the city's minimum wage and wage theft ordinance. It included failing to pay entertainers and other staff, paying them below minimum wage, requiring workers to pay fees to work, and misclassifying them as tipped workers. We reached out to the owner of the strip clubs for comment. We're still waiting to hear back.
Naropa University says it has a buyer for its main campus in Boulder, and they say they have cut a deal with student housing developer based in Chicago, but won't say how much it's worth. The private university isn't closing. Leadership there says they're going to use this money from the sale to invest in their future. They say they'll seek community input, but that could mean that they're leaning into remote learning. Naropa says more than 40% of students and many faculty and staff operate primarily in hybrid and virtual spaces. School leaders don't expect to leave the campus before June of 2027.
Well, it might be winter, but man, the warm weather's lately, type of weather you might want to go out and grab yourself a patio beer, you know. Cerebral Brewing has had one of the best known patios in the Denver beer scene since the pandemic. Thanks to Denver's Outdoor Spaces program, they were able to convert their parking lot into outdoor seating. Really became the identity of the brewery experience there. But now the city's phasing out the program. Because of the city code that requires a certain amount of parking spots, Cerebral says they were only able to keep 40% of their original patio. It's a lot of people space lost for not a whole lot of parking.
Can benefit a whole lot more as a business from 40 to 50 extra seats than we can 3 parking spaces. Every person that comes in just asks our bartenders, what happened to the patio? What happened to the patio? That's what we were known for 5 years. And now people are like, well, it's, you know, it's so much different.
Cerebral's owner said he's also worried about how the Colfax Bus Rapid Transit project is going to impact his business over the next few years.
Colorado State Senator Lisa Frizzle, a Republican, says she has cancer. She serves the Castle Rock area. On the Senate floor today, she revealed she is fighting breast cancer. Cancer was caught early, and she is vowing to keep serving in her role in the Colorado Senate.
I want to be crystal clear that I am not going to stop fighting for the good people of Senate District 2 while I simultaneously fight this new battle. I am not going anywhere, and I'm going to be fine.
Senator Frizzle says the diagnosis came after a routine mammogram, and now she is encouraging other women to get that annual checkup. According to the American Cancer Society, breast cancer makes up about 1 in 3 of all new female cancer cases each year, and more than 42,000 women are expected to die from the diagnosis this year.
A Democratic congresswoman from Colorado is back home tonight after she flew to Washington with her 4-week-old baby so she could vote against the Republican budget outline passed last night. She made the trip after a bipartisan plan to allow proxy voting for new parents was blocked by Republicans. I talked with Representative Brittany Pedersen about this earlier today.
We're human beings like everybody else, and things happen in our lives, and we should be able to still represent our constituents. This is the 21st century. We can vote remotely. This shouldn't be the barrier that it is.
Pedersen's trip was noticed by plenty of new moms as well.
And 9 News reporter Spencer Soysher spoke with a woman whose baby was born the same week and says there is no way she would have made that flight.
I can't imagine even thinking about going back to work at the moment, let alone getting on a plane and traveling.
Jamie Dowling's baby Wyatt is on her best behavior for us. No fuss, no need for her mom. But that only lasts so long.
Maybe an hour, maybe. And that's that's difficult.
Wyatt is a little more than 4 weeks old, nearly the same age as Colorado Rep. Brittany Pedersen's child. Like Pedersen, she has a newborn and another young kid.
I'm not working right now. I'm on my maternity leave.
Pedersen was supposed to be on leave too, until her request to vote remotely was denied.
And unfortunately, we'll have skyrocketing costs. I agree, Sam.
Pedersen is Jamie's representative in Congress. Jamie's amazed, but also can't believe Pedersen flew to D.C. with her newborn for Tuesday's budget vote.
They don't have their vaccines until they're 2 months old. So that's also the thing. It's navigating the flu epidemic that's going around right now and RSV.
Pedersen has acknowledged that her responsibility is to show up for the people she represents. But bringing a newborn cross-country couldn't be every mom.
It's unfathomable thinking that you'd have to travel from Colorado to DC with a 4-week-old just to be able to cast a vote.
Pedersen said in her interview with Kyle earlier today how exhausted she was, even with a baby who was well behaved. Jamie told me she thought it was pretty courageous that she made the trek, even though the vote obviously didn't go her way. Spencer Soysher, 9 News.